more than $1 million.
Oh, shucks. There's more than 1,000, I betcha.
But how can we take it with us?
Oh! 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 What? It's another episode of The Familiars! That's right. Don't you move that took us from wherever it is seated. You are watching the best dang D&D stream on the GD internet. This is The Familiars. My name is Joby Earl. I am the DM for this incredible, incredible crew. The crew has got themselves in a cave surrounded by invisible green hags, but don't worry, folks, they've rescued the children. I'll give you a fuller recap in just a minute, but now I want to introduce my buddies. Up first, we've got Alex Henriksen playing Rooster, Dragonborn, a Barbarian. We've got my friend Austin Durant. He's playing Thibodeau. He's a human bard. Yep. We've got Worthy. Sorry, no time. Cut for time. Worthy, we've got Worthy. She's played Annalise by Annalise Levin. Who's a tiefling, and she's a cleric. And we've got my friend Zach Appleman. He's playing Justin, a half-elf ranger. Everybody, we're the Familiars. We're the Familiars.
We're the Familiars.
Most of them. You're getting most of them. We're missing you, Ben. We're missing you, John.
Quite a few Familiars.
And yeah,
handful of Familiars.
A handful.
Captain Chowder will be played by multiple people at the same time.
It's gonna be a group effort. Yeah, sorcerers are complicated. In case you guys didn't know, Austin Durant and Ben Horner have tread the boards together many a time.
Oh, many a time.
Who needs him? Just kidding, Ben.
Whoa!
Wow!
Oh my God, I was kidding. I was trying to make Austin feel good, and I made Ben feel bad.
Well, not yet. You haven't made him feel bad yet. Not until he watches it.
He will cry.
We love you, Ben. We love you, John.
Now
okay.
do John.
Announcements.
Someone do John.
We've got.
He's a chameleon. I can't.
Yeah, he's too good.
He's an enigma. He's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Capture lightning in a bottle.
Nope. No, you can't.
Announcements. Buy our merch. We have this really cool bag of holding, perfect for taking stuff to the beach. We're going to have more videos coming from our amazing DM, whose advice last week, what was it? There is no great, there's only good, and there's only good enough. I've used 3 times this week. And that was when I was hiking and I was really tired in the desert. I was like, that's only good enough. It's okay if I'm slow.
I have to say, I took my bag of holding out the other day.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of compliments on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I met
this wonderful woman complimented me on my bag, and we're married now and have 3 kids.
Hey, congratulations. Yeah? All right.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Get a bag
Never too late. And it all starts with our merch.
Also hot water, thank you.
Check out In Hot Water. Check out
Hot
my
Water
unsolicited
coming soon.
DM advice. Check us out on TikTok.
So good.
I give you a semi-daily Dungeon Master affirmation. I talk about other things. I answer your questions. I answer other people's questions, and I ask you questions. All that jazz and more on the Familiars. Okay, so we're going to get into our game here. We're going to be playing with a little bit of Tailspire. We're going to be playing with a little bit of Storm King's Thunder. Our group is in the midst, as it were. Oh boy, that's for the podcast listeners, y'all.
Rooster.
That's
Oh, I thought we were all
unedited.
doing that.
That was Rooster's breath weapon.
Okay, but you guys, right before this, when I
Nice.
burped, everyone else burped, and it was like a cute thing, and I was trying to do a callback, and everyone didn't do it.
I didn't burp because I never burp because
We have each other's backs here on the Familiars.
Guys.
We don't let people flail about. But more importantly, equally as importantly, a recap. Oh, you want that one? Oh, I don't have it.
Yeah,
up. Okay.
okay, fine.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
I think I just heard the Law and Order theme, though.
Okay. Last time on the Familiars, the Familiars battled a coven of green hags in hopes of saving 2 children. They were trapped inside the cave. The hags kept turning invisible, repositioning, and reappearing right next to a different member of the party. Thibodeau rendered one prone with a hypnotic pattern, while Captain Chowder dealt with the 2 that had appeared on either side of him. After one was killed, the other 2 disappeared. Worried that they were planning a surprise attack, Jastan hurried everyone inside the cave. Worthy called on Kelemvor to summon a spectral guardian to keep watch, but was surprised when something entirely different appeared. A pit fiend from the 9 hells took stoic position at the mouth of the cave. The party ran inside. Rooster found a pile of bones in front of an altar. Rooster collapsed at the sight of the smaller bones amidst the pile, and at that, raucous laughter filled the air. But there was no other sign of the remaining 2 hags. That being said, there was the sound of muffled voices from an adjacent room within the cavern. Relief flooded through the group as they discovered Bertram and Pippa. Safe, unharmed. Hi, everybody. We're back in the caves. We are safe as a group for the moment. And here we have 2 using halfling minis for children, Bertram and Pippa, before you. They are overcome with emotion, as I'll say that as the group ran into the cavern, Rooster, filled with emotion, ran seeing the children and just began ripping off their bindings, wiping away the tears that they had been shedding over the bone pile in the other room. As they do this, the younger one, Pippa, begins to scream at the sight of the Dragonborn, terrified. Bertram tries to console her, but looks equally scared himself. Rooster, you are in front of these children. What's everybody doing? What's everybody up to at the moment? We can go around.
I turn
Rooster.
to Cap and I say, Cap, I'm broken. Can you do something, please? And I back away and like hide myself. I don't want to scare them more. And my hope is that Cap is here in the room with us now and can maybe do something for the children.
Sure.
Cap.
Yes.
What do you do, Cap?
I think Ben. I think he probably gives him a little juice box and one of his little boomerang things to smooth things over.
Cap comes up, and you see that as this huge panda construct begins to walk towards the children, there's a bit of confusion and still a bit of hesitancy from Bertram, the older one. But the young one, Pippa, through teary eyes, sort of against her better judgment, lets a smile come onto her face. And as Chowder reaches out with a juice box, hands it to Pippa, Pippa takes it, and Bertram turns to her and say, "No, we don't know what that is. Don't drink it." At this point, I'll say Justin comes around the corner.
Have they seen me yet?
I'll say that at that moment, for story purposes, that's when they see you. And they turn and look, and Bertram says, "Justin! What? You came for us!" And Pippa is now that Bertram's turned to you, is just like sipping the juice box, just completely going against her brother's wishes. And takes a sip and says, Justin, hello, Justin, it's you. What's everybody doing?
I sort of run up to them and I kneel down in front of them. I'm not like hugging them, but I'm just checking them for wounds, and I sort of look up at them. I say, "Are you all right? Are you hurt?"
You look them over, and you can see that they are actually unharmed. Bertram seems to have a bit of a sort of scrape bruise on the back of his neck, but it looks to be where maybe he was trying to get at some of the bindings that were around him. Other than that, they are untouched.
Yeah.
I think we're okay. We're okay. We came out of the cave. We were underground for so long, and we just kept running. Papa told us that if anything were to happen, that we would just needed to keep running until we found somewhere safe. And as we came out of the cave, we heard an old woman. She looked to be like some kind of farmer, and I didn't recognize her, but she told us to come inside the cave that she was in and that it was safe. And
I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, "No, it's all right. You did good. You did good. You did what he told you to do. You kept your sister safe. You did good. Now, we're not out of the woods yet. You need to stick close to us. We're going to get you out of here safely, I promise."
Is Papa back at the farm?
Oh,
Justin turns and looks at the group and looks back at the kids, and he says, "I'm so sorry. Your father didn't make it. He fell protecting both of you, giving you time to escape. I don't know what to say."
Bertram looks completely shocked as Pippa begins to just wail. I'll say Chowder comes up and just puts a gentle hand onto Pippa as she just writhes in grief-filled agony. Bertram looks to be clenching his jaw very tightly. And goes to his sister and just sits next to her, still, as everyone shares a moment with the two kids. And it is here that the cackling comes back. You hear it throughout the entire cave. You look around. Everyone go ahead and make a perception check, I'll say. I'll roll for Ben.
Oof, 8.
How does this game work?
25.
17.
Annalise. Yes,
Okay.
thank God.
No one sees anything. I'll even say that you, Justin, with your 25, see that Chowder is consoling the two children, and at the sight of the cackling, you run out to look outside the cave and can see nothing. The pit fiend stands at attention, not having moved.
What do I know about green hags, if anything? Like,
make the skill check of your choice. Trying to sort of remember how you would choose to remember. It could be nature, it can be arcana, and depending on what you roll and the skill you use, I can let you know what you know.
It wouldn't be survival. No.
Roll survival.
Okay. Good. 7.
You have not faced off in the wilds against a green hag. Heard about them, remembered them from your studies, and maybe anecdotally, but this is your first personal encounter with one.
Okay.
Have I ever read anything about them?
Make a history check.
Okay.
The cackling is just reverberating throughout the caves. The
Well,
children
were these
are
doing
now
that?
silent.
I've come back into the cave and I said, I still don't see anything outside.
Rolled a 12.
You remember that they are beings from the plane of the Feywild. So they are fellow travelers of sprites, of dryads, of fairies, of folk that are ruled by an emotional hunger.
At this point, Rooster kind of tugs at their belt and pulls out the necklace that they took from the dead hag with an eye on it, I believe.
Yeah.
And they say, and they're keeping to the wall. I think for Rooster right now, it's like be in the shadows, hide from the kids, don't do anything to kids now. Rooster has been terrified. This dark secret is up. It feels terrible. And so they look at it and say, does anyone know anything about this? Hey, Cap, can you maybe... Oh, sorry, right, voice. Does anyone know anything about this? Hey, Cap!
Whispered. Yeah.
Cap. Okay, I will much. Cap. I've never whispered before, but I think this is how you do it. Can you magic this and see if this is magic item?
Okay, Cap's gonna go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
I was hoping somebody could maybe affirm that.
Door!
Thanks, Cap.
Cap rolls a 12. He looks at it and says, "Oh, I've never seen this before."
Could I get in on that, Joby? Is that super annoying?
Yes. No, absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead. Worthy walks over, makes an Arcana check.
Oh, look, it's the liar. Hello, liar.
Why are you calling me a liar? What have I lied about to you?
You're a pit fiend?
Yes, how did I lie about that specifically?
That you worship Kelinvor? And suddenly there is a pit fiend? I think there's more to Worthy that we don't know. And I got to tell you, I do not want to be around people that pretend they don't lie. I only want to be around people who do lie openly, like Tibbs. They're trustworthy. Secret liars?
Listen, Handbag, obviously you haven't been paying attention. I've been very clear this whole time that I don't know what's happening. You've seen me be surprised, and it's not my fault if there's something in your past that makes you a little, I don't know, have a hard time trusting people. Deal with that yourself.
How are the
I'm being
kids
honest.
reacting to this?
The kids are dead silent. Pippa has immediately stopped crying. And Bertram looks up to you and says, "That's them. That's the witch. We thought it was just one, but there's 3 of them. When we came in the cave, they all started laughing like that. And 1 turned into 3. Did you roll?
I did.
Yet?
It was stupid. It was an 8.
Can I
You haven't
ask-
seen it either.
Can I... Here, Thibodeau, will you ask the kids... Here, take the necklace. Will you ask them if they saw the other witches wearing it?
Sure. I take it and I kneel down and say, "Did you notice the witches using this thing at all?"
Bertram looks to you and says, Yeah, I think that's how they see.
Good boy. Good boy.
Thank you.
And I take it back and I smash it under my foot.
Go ahead.
I don't want them seeing us, no? Yes?
No, it was a face of impressive. Like, I was just impressed by the decisiveness of the action. It was admiration. And like, oh, damn. Yeah, Rooster.
Go ahead and make a strength check.
Oh, I'd love to. I am very strong. Where the fudge is my strength? Hold on. I've only been doing this a year. Okay.
Up top. Yeah, on the first page.
That's where I thought it was.
God, those minis look
I didn't
good.
see it.
Thanks!
Yeah.
Well, everybody's having a hard day. I got a 9.
You roll your ankle.
You throw it down on the ground and you start stamping on it. Just go ahead and roll again.
Because I have advantage. Oop. 22.
On the second time, you stamp on it and it sort of rolls. As the first time you stamp on it, you hear the laughter increase. And as the laughter increases, a voice comes through that everybody can hear and says,
I see that your pain makes you weak, Dragonborn. What is it that you are hiding from us?
and it is that just causes this anger to surge in you, and you stamp down on it again, and it shatters.
Interesting that you're accusing me of lying.
A lie of omission is no lie. Let's get out of here.
The word lie is part of the phrase.
It is not the moment, Worthy.
Well, it was a few moments ago when you decided to bring this up.
So, as you guys are arguing...
Oh, no, go ahead.
As you guys are arguing,
I'm done.
Just on you taking a look outside again. And just to remind the group, it is now evening time. You traveled a full day from Grayson's farm, around Grayson's farm, to where you are now. And that means that any travel after this point is completely okay to do, but you will risk rolling for exhaustion points. And if you take an exhaustion point, you get an increasing amount of debilitating abilities, I guess, to call it. You get the first, for example, the first exhaustion point, you get all ability checks have disadvantage.
I turn to Worthy. I go up to her and I say, that guardian at the front of the cave, how long is that going to last?
We have 8 hours of protection if we're within 10 feet of it. If it's working like it's supposed to, I mean, nothing bloody else is, but...
I turn to the group and I say, I think we should rest. I don't like the looks of this cave, but it might be safer than going out and doing it in the wilderness.
Worthy turns and walks to within a 10-foot radius of the Guardian of Faith. And as she's going, she says, safest, closest to it.
I take, I sort of look to Thibodeau and to Rooster and to Chowder to see if they agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's best we stay here, but if we can get a little bit more security than we have, I might rest easier.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to try, Joby, to use Gruyere to do like a perception check to see if he can sniff out where these hags might be.
Absolutely.
With his rat sense.
Absolutely.
So maybe like so I call him forth and whisper to him and set him down on the ground, and he starts sniffing around.
Okay. So
are they in the cave? Or are they outside the cave?
Right.
Can he follow their scent anywhere?
As long as you're not seeing through his eyes, just so I have the rules right, you can send him out and have him come back, and he doesn't have to stay within 30 or 60 feet of you, I believe.
It's 100 feet, and we're still connected.
Okay, great.
So yeah.
All right. So would you like to kind of bamf into him?
Yeah, and maybe walk out to the edge of the cave where Worthy is and have him sniff around.
This little rat appears on the ground, and you see that Pippa is taken with it. And as sort of is the nature of young children, just immediately sort of becoming interested in the thing in front of them. It's a relief to everybody. As Gruyere first sort of like scurries up to Pippa and runs up Pippa's arm and just begins to sort of like tickle her cheek, and Pippa begins to giggle a little bit and then runs down. And Thibodeau, you go inside. You go in. Okay. You guys see Thibodeau's eyes roll back in Thibodeau's head, and Gruyere runs out of the cave.
Cool.
Oh, look at that.
Within 100 feet?
Yeah.
All right. So, I'll say that Gruyere does an entire loop around the entirety. Go ahead.
Thibodeau's smelling everything that Gruyere is smelling.
The air around you through Gruyere's ability to perceive. I believe that rats have advantage on perception checks that involve
related to smell. Yeah.
The first thing that happens to you, Thibodeau, is this rancid, rank, rotting smell overtakes you. And I'll say that there's a strange push and pull between the experience of a rat smelling that, which is fairly neutral, or also maybe is attracted to it, and your own, which is to vomit. You rush out hoping for fresh air once you get outside the cave, and now through the eyes of Gruyere, you are seeing much more of the beginnings of decay in the surrounding area, and the smell abates some, but not by much. It seems that whatever corruption was a part of the hags has followed them and seems to be seeping into the ground around the cave, and just having the beginnings of it growing up through the ground. Especially from Gruyere's point of view, being so low to the ground, you can see just like the beginnings of like blades of grass that are not green and not brown but black. These little sort of shoots and just bits of foliage that should be healthy are not. Go ahead and make a perception check with advantage.
It should be just a D. No. I should be using Gruyère's perception.
Ideally, yes.
Okay. So that's just I'll just roll a D20.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll it, and we'll see what you get. And if it's close to anything, that's the first one's a 5.
And that's a 16.
That's a 16. With your perception, what would that be?
With my perception, it would be 19.
Okay, and I'm just going to look up what the rat's score is really quickly.
Mine might be better, actually. I don't know. I get a +3.
Yours is better. Unfortunately, we use Gruyère's if you're going through Gruyère. With a 16, you do feel that you have covered a fair amount of ground.
And is the smell like localized anywhere? Like particularly pungent or? I basically am going to try to like blind cast fairy fire and see if I can catch the witches. Ooh. And just
so dope.
You get no sense of where the hags are.
All right. Okay.
As you scurry back. Unless you want to keep Gruyère outside the cave.
Yeah, I'll sit him there next to the fiend and maybe dip in and out.
Great.
Could we do Liamon's tiny hut as well?
Yeah.
Well, this is oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I sort of pick up Pippa and I take Bertram by the hand and I start walking them over to the front of the cave and I say, see that man Thibodeau? He's gonna do a little magic trick. He's going to make a real nice, warm, safe bedroom for us to sleep in tonight. And in the morning, we're going to take you somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Bertram pipes up and says, we have an aunt, Melora. She lives in Amphale. Papa said that if anything ever happened to him, that we should try to find Aunt Melora in Amphale.
Which is where Cap's family is, maybe.
I say,
Worthy whispers.
Sorry, that was just me.
Teeth.
That was not Worthy. That was just me being enthused.
Annalise, our librarian, historical.
I'm excited, y'all.
It's so
sorry.
Great. No, thank you for always keeping it alive and keeping these reminders, because I'm going like, Amphale sounds familiar.
Anyway, I say to him, we'll get you there, I promise.
And Thibodeau does his crystal bead ritual on the floor, and the Liamon's tiny hut grows up out of the circle on the floor that he's drawn. And everyone inside it, I'm assuming everyone's inside it, and
I'm still out by the mouth of the cave.
Yeah.
Can I call Worthy back for the casting?
Absolutely. Worthy, you hear your name called.
Turn around and come on back in.
Okay.
Just before it gets cast, I think that Rooster looks back to that flame at the end of the hall with all the bones around it.
Yeah.
Just like there's something about that that's bugging them.
Sure, you take a look at it, and the flame is just flickering on its own. It's a light, small blue flame, probably about only 2 or 3 inches, but the light that it gives off is almost seems like it's brighter than a small flame would allow. Go ahead and make a perception check. I'll say that you just take sort of a little gander back here.
Very average. It's an 11.
A closer look eludes you as the sight of the bone pile brings back memories that you don't want to deal with. You leave the flame for now and go back to Liamon's tiny hut. Okay, I'm assuming that Cap is taking the watch for the evening. We have the Pit Fiend and Gruyere on the outside. Thibodeau, can you just take a look at the description to see if you go to sleep if you lose concentration? I believe my gut says yes.
If I lose concentration if I go to sleep?
If you would lose your familiar.
Oh. Yeah, I think I have to choose to go into Gruyere.
Right. But would Gruyere stay? I'm wondering if Gruyere would stay around while you're sleeping.
Yeah, he would just be sort of acting on his own.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have
and
Gruyere
how wide is the mouth of the cave, Joby?
About 30 feet.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
What's the issue, Jim?
20 of those are covered by the Guardian of Faith.
Let me measure it real quick.
But we're pretty safe in Liamon's, right?
Yeah, pretty safe.
It's
pretty
25.
Safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess something could burrow up underneath it.
Oh, that's a nice DM. Thanks, Joby.
Nice DM.
Here, which will make it
10-foot radius around the Pit Fiend.
It's Gruyere sees the Pit Fiend move, and Gruyere moves up. And I'll say between the two of them, you feel that if the hags go right, there is a solid chance that the Pit Fiend will get them, and if not, Gruyere will alert. You feel that the mouth of the cave is fairly covered. Maybe not from the auto attack of the Pit Fiend, but that you will at least be alerted. All right.
Nice.
All right. Great.
How are the kids doing? With a flaming Pit Fiend and a Dragonborn and a Tiefling and a guy with a banjo and all this going. Have they settled?
Guy with a banjo.
Guy with a banjo.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Scariest of all.
Real pretty mouth.
Oh, God.
Do you want to do a jam session, kids? No!
As you're looking, you see that Pip is asleep, and Bertram is up. Seems to be on alert. One hand on Pippa. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. Oops, lost it. Five.
And worthy too.
You're not good with emotions.
I'm not good with kids.
Was that to me, Joby?
Yeah. Did you say you wanted to do one? I might have just lost.
No.
Okay.
I did not.
Just on. Bertram's hard to read.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can tell something's wrong, and I sort of, it's awkward, but I take my cloak off and I sort of walk over to him where he's sitting on the Liamon's cot with his sister, and I sort of put it over him and around his shoulders, and I say, you know, I lost a parent too when I was about your age.
He looks up.
This isn't going to be easy, but you got a job to do now. You got someone to protect. She's going to need you. And I'll help, I promise. It'll get easier, it'll just take time. But for now, just take it one day at a time, get some rest tonight. And we'll move on tomorrow. Can I do anything? Are you hungry? Do you need water? He's just sort of fumbling for like what he can offer.
He looks up at you and says, Papa always said that the folk around us in the Desserin Valley were good folk, and that if anything were to happen to him, that we would just need to put our faith in the good folk that check in on us. It feels good to know that Papa was right.
I nod and I say, there's a lot of bad here in this world. But there's a lot of good too. And he looks up and he sort of, he nods at this sort of huge dragonborn and this tiefling and the banjo man. And he said, there's also all kinds of people. The people you'd least expect who can come along and lend a hand. We're all going to look after you.
Thank you, Justin. I think I'll just sit up and watch for a while, if that's all right.
That's fine, lad.
I'd like to try to get a quiet moment. Are folk falling asleep? I want to see if I can kind of try to stay up and get a private moment with Thibodeau.
All right. Chowder has, I'll say Chowder has done his powering down thing, so he's sitting in a sort of meditative stance, but you see his eyes open, scanning outside of Liamon's hut. Rooster, what are you doing right now?
I'm asleep. I'm falling asleep, and I think I'm having a nightmare.
Oh.
I'm humming a old lullaby to the kids quietly, like an old elfin lullaby.
No.
You hear this little tune begin to float mellifluously out of Justin. Worthy, you make your way over to Thibodeau.
Worthy kind of like sits down, because there are cots in the hut, right? Kind of like
bedrolls.
Sits on down kind of next to Thibodeau, like not looking at him directly, but it's just sort of like, listen, I need to ask you to do something for me.
What's that?
Something's happening that I don't really understand. The fire, the pit fiend, none of that's supposed to happen. And, well, ever since, it's out now that I do care about y'all, the people I care about tend to not live too long. And when they go, it tends to be pretty unpleasant. I'm not being sentimental, I'm just stating fact. So, if something happens that I can't control, can you please protect the others? Can you do whatever it takes to protect the others, please?
What do you mean, do whatever it takes?
I mean, I don't know if I'm a very safe person to be around. So if something happens that I can't control, just do what you need to do to keep the others safe, all right?
I think I understand what you're saying. But Worthy, there's something good inside you. And that's bigger than any pit fiend or devil or anything the nine hells can hold.
Well, I hope you're right. But please just promise me Please just promise me you'll keep the others safe.
I promise.
Thank you.
Right.
Can I hear that?
You see, they were fairly close. Were you guys trying to be quiet?
I was trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
All right. Justin, I'm going to say, just for story purposes, your focus is on the confusion as to what to do with Bertram. And you sung this song, and you saw him continuing to try to kind of stay awake. And the tail end of the Worthy Thibodeau conversation sort of catches your attention. You stop singing, and Worthy sees you look over and is immediately quiet. You look back to Bertram, and Bertram is asleep. Rooster is sleeping. Everyone beds down for the evening. All right.
Look at all these faces.
As
Alex, you're muted.
I love these faces. Look at the faces.
As
Can I tell you what I'm dreaming about?
Please, yes.
I'm on a hunt, and it's very cold. I'm in a Siberian type forest, and I'm following little bloody tracks, like little drops of blood. And I come around the corner, and I see something trying to hide behind this very large black tree. And I say, Malar, may I do thy... Oh, I say, sorry. Malar, may I do thy will? And I have my axe. And as I come around the corner to swing, I see the eyes of a child looking up at me, and I wake up.
You wake up to the sound of laughter. It's dark. And the laughter, again, is just reverberating through the caves. You look over, and everybody is now awake. And after the laughter dies down, you hear a voice.
Were you dreaming, Dragonborn?
Get out of my head!
Do we hear that
Laughter.
voice too?
Everyone hears the voice.
Okay.
Were you having a good dream or a bad dream?
Can someone knock me out? They're in my head.
I pull out my banjo and I start playing a song louder than the screaming. It's like a furious, loud bluegrass roll. And
go ahead and make a
cast counter charm. I cast counter charm, which gives everyone in the area advantage on being charmed, or is it being afraid or charmed?
I'm very fucking afraid right now.
Yeah, being frightened or charmed on saving throws. So if it comes to that.
Okay. All of you, this furious bit of banjo work makes you all look over to Thibodeau, whose fingers are a blur on the banjo. I don't know if you've ever seen him really let loose on this thing, but this is spectacular. And it's a sort of strange, bit of cognitive dissonance to have this laughter being sort of battled with this incredibly upbeat, positive music, but you do all feel girded against any sort of terror that was seeping into yourselves. Rooster, you feel a bit more yourself again. But the laughter does continue. And it just says,
Tell us, was it a good dream or a bad dream?
I beg someone. I say, I'm not magic. I don't know magic. They are getting into my head. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to be a good rooster. Can somebody please knock me out? I don't want to hurt.
Worthy reaches out and casts deafness.
Okay. Before you do that, Rooster, make a deception check.
A deception check.
1.
As Worthy, you are beginning to summon the spell Deafness. Well, what does it look like when you do that?
It's just speaking a word, a holy sentence, which I would say is actually an infernal, because this comes from... Oh, wait, no, it's my cleric. Yeah, no. So it's just... I think I just say that part of the prayer of passing again and again, which is, stop your ears to mortal sounds.
Mm-hmm. And Rooster, everything goes silent. And Rooster doesn't hear this next part. But all the rest of you hear,
Dragonborn's a liar. Dragonborn said they don't want to hurt people. An adventuring party with a liar in it. What about you, banjo player? Are you a liar?
Yes. Yes, I am.
And more laughter as the voices begin to sort of echo each other, saying,
a liar who tells the truth. Sometimes truth tellers are liars. Sometimes liars are truth tellers.
One voice comes through again and says,
we like you, truth teller. Tell us, before your adventuring party, do you want to stay with them?
They're my family. Of course I do.
Your choice. Make a deception check or make a charisma check. A persuasion check. Either a deception or persuasion.
Let's see. I'll do deception. $21.
Attaboy.
I've never questioned it, not for a moment. The minute I met these folks, I knew I was going to be with them for the rest of my life.
It seems that someone has found redemption after a loss. Who have you lost, banjo player? Tell us. We love to hear it.
I lost my wife. I lost my boy. But I had nothing to do with that. You leave them alone. Don't you talk to me about them.
Make a deception check.
And
we're sorry for your loss. Sometimes liars tell the truth. Sometimes They lie. It was your fault.
They're better off without me. They're doing fine without me.
Truth wrapped in mystery. Our favorite.
Laughter fills the air. All of you now see this small form come from the other side of the cavern. And you hear the hags begin, their laughter stops. And one hag screams at the other.
No. You said that they were going to be safe. You shouldn't have let them out. You shouldn't have.
And the other hag says,
I didn't let them out. They should have stayed put. They should have known what was good for them.
As you all look, and in the firelight, you see a third small child walk towards the campfire, looking at you, arms outstretched, just completely all blood drained from their face. Terrified. This child looks like they haven't eaten in days, looking at all of you, looking at the group towards the center of the cave. What would you all like to do?
I grab Rooster and I say it could be a trap. It could be another one of them. If you go out there, swing wide over their head. If it's a kid, it'll miss them. If there's a hag there, you'll hit them.
What?
Fuck.
How long does deafness last, Worthy?
Oh no.
So a Rooster can make a Constitution saving throw. And on a success, the spell ends.
Okay.
It's Constitution save 14.
Go ahead and make a con save.
Oh shit, y'all.
That's a
I
5.
gotta go.
Doesn't
I got
end.
a 5.
And you all see as Rooster is like completely trying to understand what Thibodeau is saying, the laughter just reaches this like cacophonous, like just crescendo. And that's where we're going to pick it up next week. Y'all. Wow. We've got some lies, we've got some truths. We're still in the caves here at the Familiars, but thank you all so much for joining us. It is always a pleasure. And let's see what happens. I don't know. Another pickle. But we're so
Quite a
happy that you're
pickle.
here. Quite a pickle. We love you always. And yeah, I guess until next week, our intent is all for your delight. Until then, catch you all later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.